We've been working on her lateral movements. Here we go. And I've been trying to work on having the accessibility to a little bit longer neck when she is doing her lateral movements. And afterwards, as an instructor told me, extend the neck 50 times. In other words, don't be afraid to extend the neck when they've done something that you've asked them to do. A little bit of travers. There we go. And looking out the door, because it's a fun thing to do. And then extend the neck. And let her be loose. Nose forward, nose behind the vertical with a long neck like this actually hyperextends the nuchal ligament and does its pretty impressive amount of damage to the insertion points in the neck. There we go. So when I was a younger person, one of the first things I taught horses was pole flexion. Now that's kind of the last thing I teach them. They may offer it now and again, but pole flexion can really be a poison and can get you stuck in bad places with horses. Because I see much more positive effects from being able to alter the neck height between, with a horse that's getting going where she's at, I would kind of prefer a little bit higher neck. But when I do that, it's almost like she goes a little bit lateral in her gait. So I know I really don't want that. So I'm going to have her have a little bit longer neck. I started this mare about 5 months ago, and I don't ride her every day. I mean, there are some weeks when I do ride her every day, but not in a drilling kind of way. I want to build her curriculum. That's the main thing. Obviously, I'm holding my reins very tightly. And curriculum building is no matter where I leave off, I can come back and build on it because they were taught in such a way that made sense to them, and they don't have any negative emotions towards it, so they don't hate it, and they're not body sore from it because it's very progressive, step by step. And so you can come back and build on it. Like, we have built a pretty steady travers, and we're starting on building half pass. It's not super awesome, but she's getting the idea. The reason I add these in so early is I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting to build on an idea. Now, the idea of half pass is look in the direction of travel and have your horse's body fairly parallel to the wall and step forward and sideways. That's a really nice way to teach them how to organize themselves to do more complicated things. Balancing, it's strengthening. I can take that, she's learned from that, and say, can we pivot? Well, because I have so much understanding in there, I can pivot. That's better. And then I can say, now let's take it around to a pivot. Good. I want what I teach them to be fairly universally applicable to whatever I want to ask them to do. So it just so happens that the very traditional dressage movements really show you how to access separately the head, the neck, the shoulders, and the haunches. You can straighten a horse. You can balance a horse, you can strengthen a horse, can do all kinds of things if you can move all of these areas of their body separately with very clearly defined aids that are separate from one another that the horse can easily understand.